Japan has been famous throughout history for many things, from being an isolated country for hundreds of years to being the birthplace of anime and sushi. But do you know about its history? From the legendary first emperor to the emergence of the samurai and the rapid modernization that turned it into a global power? Japan's history is filled with ups and downs, victories and defeats. It's a tale that shaped not only Japan but the entire East Asia region and the world. In this episode, we're going to explore the roots of modern Japan by covering the main events that happened in the country's history. Japan is an archipelago of islands located in East Asia, extending from the Sea of Okhotsk in the north to the East China Sea in the south. Though its exact origins are shrouded in mythology, the earliest archaeological evidence suggests human habitation dating back at least 30,000 years. Early inhabitants included the Jomon people, known for their distinctive pottery. Around 1000 BCE, the WWII people arrived, bringing with them rice cultivation, metalworking technologies from mainland Asia. By the 3rd century CE, the Yamato clan had emerged as a dominant force, laying the foundations of a centralized state that would eventually become Japan. Buddhism made its way to Japan from China and Korea in the 6th century, blending with indigenous Shinto beliefs. The Heian period witnessed the rise of a powerful aristocratic class and the flourishing of Japanese literature. The Kamakura shogunate, established in 1185, marked the beginning of a military dictatorship that would last for over 700 years. During the Edo period, the Tokugawa shogunate implemented strict policies of isolation, limiting contact with the outside world. However, this policy contributed to the preservation of Japanese culture. In the mid-19th century, Commodore Matthew Perry's arrival forced Japan to open its borders, leading to the Meiji Restoration. The Tokugawa shogunate was overthrown, and the emperor's authority was restored. This period saw an extraordinary transformation of Japan into a modern industrialized nation. During World War II, Japan's militaristic expansionism led to devastating conflicts across Asia and the Pacific. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki brought an end to the war and ushered Japan into the era of post-war recovery and economic growth under American occupation. A new constitution was drafted, renouncing war and emphasizing democratic principles. In the latter half of the 20th century, Japan experienced unprecedented economic growth, becoming the second-largest economy globally. Throughout its history, Japan has been defined by a unique blend of tradition and innovation, making it a captivating subject of study. Now let's dive into Japan's rich history. Japan's history dates back thousands of years, with its early chapters shrouded in myth and legend. According to ancient texts like the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, the islands were formed by the deities Izanagi and Izanami. Their act of creation using a jeweled spear resulted in the emergence of the first Japanese emperor, Imu. Descending from the sun goddess Amaterasu, this imperial lineage is believed to be the longest continuous ruling dynasty in the world. However, the historical basis of these myths is debated, with some scholars considering them a later fabrication to legitimize the imperial line. Separating fact from fiction becomes a challenge as we journey through the mythological era. But amidst the myths, glimpses of reality emerge. Archaeological findings suggest human habitation on the islands dating back 30,000 years. The Jomon period, named after the Jomon people, is characterized by sophisticated pottery and pit dwellings, reflecting a complex society. The WWII period saw the introduction of rice farming, bronze, iron tools, and social hierarchy. Likely influenced by contact with mainland Asia, the Kofun period was marked by the emergence of large burial mounds, including the tombs of early emperors. During the 6th century, Buddhism arrived from China via Korea, profoundly impacting art, politics, and philosophy. This fusion of beliefs continues to influence Japanese spirituality today. In the 8th century, the Heian period brought the rise of an aristocratic class and the development of a distinctive court culture. The tale of Genji, written by Murasaki Shikibu, stands as a masterpiece of world literature. The rise of Zen Buddhism and the emergence of warrior ethos marked the beginning of the Kamakura shogunate in 1185. Ending the Heian period and ushering in a new era in Japanese history. This move towards militarization was largely due to the influence of the warrior class, the samurai. Now let's turn our attention to the samurai and the significant role they played in shaping Japan's history. The term samurai initially referred to a class of retainers who protected local lords in the 12th century. Over time, they evolved into a hereditary warrior caste. At the core of the samurai ethos was bushido, the way of the warrior, a code of conduct emphasizing loyalty, frugality, courage, honor, and self-discipline. Bushido's influence extended beyond the battlefield, shaping various aspects of Japanese culture. The rise of the samurai was closely tied to the Ashikaga shogunate, which commenced in 1336 and lasted until 1573. This era witnessed the emergence of powerful daimyo territorial lords who often employed samurai as military retainers. During the Sengoku period, a chaotic era of civil wars and power struggles, several unifiers emerged, namely Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Nobunaga's ambition laid the groundwork for the unification process, but his untimely death in 1582 led to Hideyoshi assuming control. By 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu's victory at the Battle of Sekigahara secured his position, and he established the Edo shogunate, marking the beginning of Japan's longest period of peace and stability. The Edo period, lasting until 1868, was characterized by the isolationist Sakoku policy, the flourishing of arts like kabuki and ukiyo-e, and the rise of a merchant class. The Tokugawa shogunate's reign, however, wasn't without challenges. In the mid-19th century, Commodore Matthew Perry's arrival forced Japan to open its doors to the West, setting in motion the Meiji Restoration. The year 1868 marked a pivotal moment in Japanese history. The overthrow of the Tokugawa shogunate and the restoration of imperial rule under Meiji Tenno ushered in an era of profound transformation. Over a span of just decades, Japan underwent a remarkable modernization, propelling itself onto the global stage as a major industrial power. The Meiji Restoration was triggered by a series of domestic and international pressures. The forced opening of Japan to foreign trade by U.S. Commodore Matthew Perry in 1854 shocked the nation and accelerated demands for reform. Western powers sought to impose unequal treaties on Japan, granting them trading privileges and extraterritoriality. The shogunate's inability to address these challenges effectively led to growing discontent among the samurai class and intellectuals. Fearing further humiliation and inspired by Western models, a group of samurai from Satsuma and Choshu domains launched a rebellion, deposing the Tokugawa shogun and reinstating the emperor. To navigate this delicate balance, the Meiji government adopted the strategy of Fukoku Kodo, aiming to enrich the country and strengthen the military. With the restoration of imperial rule, the government implemented sweeping reforms to modernize Japan along Western lines. The introduction of Western-style education, universal compulsory primary education, the establishment of universities, and the implementation of a decentralized legal system laid the foundation for a new intellectual elite. The government reorganized and expanded the military, creating conscripted armies based on Western models. The new army and navy underwent rigorous training and adopted modern weaponry and tactics. This modernization effort proved successful. Japan's first modern war, the Sino-Japanese War of 1894–95 against China, resulted in a decisive victory demonstrating the effectiveness of the reforms. The Russo-Japanese War of 1904–5 against Russia further solidified Japan's status as a major power, stunning the world by defeating the supposedly invincible Tsarist army. Japan's victories not only showcased its military prowess, but also enhanced its regional influence. The annexation of Korea in 1910 and the colonization of Taiwan in 1895 expanded Japan's territorial control and economic interests. These victories and territorial expansions marked a significant shift in the balance of power in East Asia, establishing Japan as a prominent player on the global stage. If you've enjoyed this journey through Japan's history, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more insightful explorations of history. Thank you for watching.